I've been going to Weight Watchers, and I have been going to Weight Watchers, right? But I'm 40, I was 40 2 days ago, and it's hard to go to Weight Watchers as a middle-aged man. It's embarrassing. Everyone else there is women, so you feel embarrassed, and you have to be brave as a middle-aged man to keep going back to Weight Watchers. Braver in many ways than a fireman or someone fighting in a war. And I'm the only person currently failing to lose weight at Weight Watchers as a result of Islam. Some laughs here, mainly an anxiety in the room. You know what you're scared of? Haven't you got a bloke, an airport baggage handler, who can pretend to have kicked someone? It's an empire built on sand, that man's career. Don't worry, I'm going to talk about Islam. Don't worry, there's people walking out, they're so afraid. Ben Elton says we can't talk about Islam because we'll be killed. I don't care. Don't worry, right? Don't worry about where this bit's going. Don't worry, because this bit, if you're nervous, this bit was reviewed in the London Evening Standard as being tediously politically correct. So, don't worry about where it's going. In fact, if you were confused so far, you can now add boredom to that. Now, I go to Weight Watchers where... I go to Weight Watchers, ladies and gentlemen. I go where I live. I go to Stamford Hill Library, Stoke Newington in North East London. And there's only two men in my Weight Watchers group, me and a Polish man in his late 70s. And everyone else is women. Women of all races and creeds and colours and cultures and shapes and sizes. It's like a United Nations day out to a funfair hall of mirrors. Which they have, actually. They have those. And I was in the queue waiting to get weighed. You queue up to get weighed, right? And three in front of me, there's a young Muslim woman, about 25 years old, and she was wearing the hijab. This is the headscarf they wear because there's an Islamic taboo about men seeing hair. And she turned round to me and she said, I do apologise, but I'm about to get weighed. Would you be so kind as to go out in the corridor? Now, at the time, I mean, obviously in retrospect, it was because she was going to take the headscarf off and I couldn't see her hair, but I didn't make the connection then, and I just thought she didn't want me to see how much weight she'd put on, so I said, no, I'm not going out. I don't know what you're worried about, love. You're not even that fat. And then she said, no, it's the... And then I realised, right, and I started to apologise. But in between me and her was a Hasidic Jewish woman, about 50 years old. And she sort of budged in and she looked at the young Muslim woman and then she looked at me and then she sort of went, oh, like that. Oh. As if to go... First the suicide bombings and now this. But the irony was that the Hasidic Jewish, they have a thing where they shave their hair off and then the women wear wigs over it. So she's in a wig, the young Muslim woman's in this headscarf. Me, I'm an atheist, right? A fat atheist, we've established. But I didn't see why my attempts to lose weight should be compromised in any way by the hair anxieties of a God I don't necessarily believe exists. But it looked like there was going to be a three-way argument. Everyone was looking at each other. And then I thought, I can't stay here to debate this, I thought. I can't stay here, because if we ever are going to decide how exactly, if at all, God wants hair to be concealed, that's not going to happen at Stamford Hill Weight Watchers. It's Stamford Hill Weight Watchers, not Stamford Hill Weight Watchers and Religious Hair Taboo Discussion Circle. Although I would go to that. And I tell you what, it's really nice being back in a kind of cosmopolitan city like Glasgow, where you can say the phrase, Stamford Hill Weight Watchers and Religious Hair Taboo Discussion Circle, and you people realise that that is a joke. There's no such thing. Because what I've found is in the north of England, right, in Carlisle or Derby or somewhere, when I say Stamford Hill Weight Watchers and Religious Hair Taboo Discussion Circle, there's no laugh. Because all the north of England people are going, well, they would have that in that London. It's a kind of stupid thing that they would have there. And what I say to people in the north of England is, not every town has to have a cake named after it. Yeah. And it's not strictly true. They haven't all got cakes named after them, right? But enough of them have. If you say that to a north of England person, they go, and then they go, oh, Bakewell, Eccles, and then they get confused now. So, Yorkshire pudding, is that? So, anyway, I went out in the corridor, and the young Muslim woman had already asked the old Polish man to go out in the corridor, and he was out in the corridor, and he looked at me, and he made this kind of angry face, right? And I looked away, because I was worried he was going to say something like, fucking Muslims, or something. Yeah? And I looked away, because I didn't want to have to agree with something racist out of politeness. Because I can do that whenever I go home at Christmas. I say quilts, but they're flags, really. Banners. So I didn't make that, and then I was out in the corridor, and I was annoyed initially, because I thought, I've gone out, I've left the Weight Watchers now, and I'm going to lose my nerve, and I'm not going to go back in, I'm going to get fatter and fatter. But then I thought, you know what, it doesn't matter, right? It's 10, 15 minutes out of my day, I can rejoin the queue. And if I was a young Muslim in Britain today, maybe I'd feel quite put upon, and maybe these kind of cultural signifiers would take on an extra importance. It doesn't matter. Then I thought, you know what, it doesn't matter. It's 10, 15 minutes out of my day, I can rejoin the queue. And if I was in a queue for something and there was someone behind me who was like blind or on crutches or mentally handicapped or something, I would let them go ahead of me. And then I thought, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Because I've just equated having a religious belief with being mentally handicapped. Which obviously isn't appropriate, even though it is correct. And then I got annoyed, right? And I thought, I'm going to go back in, I'm going to go to a Muslim, maybe a contributing factor in my ongoing weight gain. And, you're driving me out, you know. And if you must wear your hijab to Weight Watchers, then what I suggest is that you take it off at home and weigh it separately before you come out. And then deduct its weight from your Weight Watchers total, giving you your correct weight using maths, which I understand your people claim to have invented. Yeah, but I didn't say that, right?